think Stone Collection really needs to switch advantage. You don't want Azuro on the top specs. Go for another bait. This is so cruel. Does Javier call this? Does he call this? Does he shield this? Does he call a foul play? And oh no! He shields the resistant foul play!
2 shields down for Javier from 2 baits from Stone Collection. He is trying to make sure he gets back in this match, but the second shield also goes down on his own Malamar.
This is such a wicked play from Stone Collection. Now let's see. He's, oh my goodness, the catch! What are these players doing, Lou? We are a month into this new meta of different Pokemon and a shorter switch clock. In this video, we will dive deeper into the revelations of this season. Let me take you on a journey to Dortmund, where I commentated the first European Regional Championship of the new season. Our journey starts in Rotterdam, the Thursday before the event. From here, it is approximately a 3-hour drive for me to get to Dortmund. But first, I pick up Teptando. You may have seen him in my previous videos. He has a new exciting role within the European production broadcast. We're now, at the moment of recording, 1 week before the first regional championship in Europe that's going to be in Dortmund. And you'll be working at all the European regional championships, especially events, of course, in the production. How do you feel about this? Are you excited?
I am very excited. I want to do my part to elevate these streams to an even higher level than they already at.
Can you give a brief explanation of what you will be doing?
I will be the SME, it's an abbreviation for the subject matter expert, and I will be, it's going to be my responsibility to make sure all the live information, all the Pokemon information on the screen is relevant, accurate and up to date. So I will be highlighting which Pokemon are brought to battle, I will be showcasing the movesets of the Pokemon, I will indicate when they faint, I will update the scores between the players, that kind of stuff.
After a 3-hour drive, we have arrived in Dortmund. It's a little bit rainy today. Luckily, we don't have any duties on Thursday. We only have to arrive, and we're just going to go downtown, have some lunch, and see what it looks like. Maxi, what is going to be the team that you will use for this weekend?
I will use a team with probably Malamar, Toxapex, Diggersby, Arctivax, Talonflame, and what is my last one? What's my last one?
Azu?
No, Gator. Shadow Gator.
It's only the most common Pokemon in the Open Grey League. Very, very smart. What do you think is the best Open Grey League Pokemon right now? What is going to be the MVP of Dortmund?
Shadow Kwak, I think, will be the MVP of Dortmund, or Shadow Drapion will be the MVP of Dortmund. One of those two.
Tristan's about to play his unified match. Maxi, do you think he's going to win this?
It's a 60-40 to the opponent, I think, maybe.
As the opponent wins or loses?
The opponent wins. Reaction?
I'll try to prove him wrong. I think that's all I got.
After lunch, we did a lot of Zacian raids, but it took me a while before I actually got the shiny. One thing in Germany that I really struggle with getting used to is that I cannot pay by card everywhere here. I've been to Stuttgart, Hamburg, Berlin, and Dortmund, München, and it's everywhere the same, even though some of my German friends tell me it's not. And that's what I struggled with today. I went to the Westfalen Park, was told I can pay by card, but arriving there I couldn't. So I don't have any nice shots from the park, unfortunately. It's a very nice park. They held... I can't remember exactly when it was, but I was there for my first Go Fest ever. I went there with my best friend Jeremy. You may have seen him in my global Go Fest video. And I went with my brother's ex-girlfriend and her simp. Unfortunately, that also was an event where I didn't know anyone. It was an event where we arrived late and we left early. And nowadays, Go Fest is one of my favorite events to attend. So I really want to go to the park, but unfortunately, couldn't today. At 12:30, I'll be going to the venue. Gonna get some caster training. We'll go over some stuff for this weekend and have a rehearsal, and that will be pretty much the preparation for the show this weekend. I cannot make too many recordings inside the venue because I am here to, take it serious and work. Yo, antagonist.
Martijn, at some point you will have to ask yourself, am I the bad guy?
Yes.
Team, we are so back. We have arrived in Dortmund for the first regional of the 2025 season. I'm joined by Martijn
Hey,
and Amanda. It is raining here, but we have actually come perfectly for the Dortmund's local derby against Bochum in an effort to blend in. We have our Dortmund cap. Martijn is also vlogging or taking photos for his mother, I'm not sure. But otherwise, we are happy to be here. We will keep you updated throughout the weekend.
So, how did I actually get here? I started competing right away when Pokemon Go was added to the 2022 Play Pokemon circuit. It was the EUIC. I got the top 8 right away, but the following tournaments didn't go super well that season. And then 2023 started with Liu. I got the top 5, and unfortunately, right after Liu, my father passed away. And for some distraction, I didn't plan on it at first, but I went to compete in Stuttgart, and I got the top 3 there, which ended up in me qualifying for the World Championships that season. Then I saw a post on X, which was asking for casters for Pokemon Go for Liverpool. At the time, it was a community broadcast, and I was like, why not? I already qualified for the World Championships. I didn't intend on competing in Liverpool. Why not try casting? And that's how I got in there, basically. It was Nuralko who messaged me asking, if you can get these days off, we would like to have you on. I think he really wanted me on, and he really believed it.
Hi, I'm Lukas, also known as Nuralko. I'm a German Pokemon Go streamer and also work in the production at the Pokemon regional events for CSL. And yeah, that's me. I was working with CSL and the guys since years. We started with CCG. It was called Complexity Card Gaming in the old times, and we are doing Yu-Gi-Oh events and Hearthstone events. And I was streaming and semi-professional playing Hearthstone at that time, and always was a bit of an IT guy, and we set up the streams for the events. And yeah, so it came together that one day the TPCI asked CSL if they also want to do Pokemon Go streams, because TCG streams were the events were already doing events, and Pokemon Go was added, and they only know me who was doing Pokemon Go streams, and asked me if I wanted to help out, and yeah, that's why we are working together. I was doing a bit of everything. I was teaching like the whole production crew at the beginning. Then I used like the tool, we call it, to put on every live scores and names and Pokemon and so on. And now at this season, my new job is the replay operator.
I owe a lot to Card Sports League. After the first couple events, I feel like our trust in each other really has grown. I share a lot of my knowledge on what could be useful for the broadcast to make the broadcasts better, and they have me on quite some events. In the 2024 season, I believe I got like 7 events in total, so that's a good amount. And it's also when we went official. That's when we were broadcasting on the official Pokemon Go channel, and I even got invited to cast the EUIC, which was one of the highlights of casting for me. Of course, I also still competed, won Utrecht, got number 2 at Worlds, and now I'm here to cast the first championship of the 2025 season, so super exciting for both casting but also competing.
And now we're in a little bit of a tricky situation. Actually, Amanda, if 2 Incinerates take down this Feraligatr, Talonflame will sweep.
And I think that now Talonflame has taken the field, but one of its hardest counters is not going to be
Oh
able to
my
even reach
goodness!
an attack.
Oh my goodness!
Trying to swap in the Clodsire on
That is incredible play from Colin. I am lost for words at how incredible that was. He did one Shadow Claw extra. He caught the attack onto his Clodsire to let it go down. He reached his next Hydro Cannon. Colin 6. I bowed down. That was sensational.
Dortmund counted 100 competitors, and amongst them were some of the best. I want to zoom in on a specific Pokemon though, Malamar. A Pokemon that had fallen out of the top 12 usage after Baltimore, but it was used by many top competitors in Dortmund, such as the first max out season GBL legend Zweilous. We take a look at game 1 between Zweilous and Nickname. Nickname likes his ABB poison strategy, and he is going to use this against Zweilous. The intention is to bait out Malamar and or Clodsire with one poison type, so the other can sweep. But look at the mistake Nickname makes here and how Zweilous punishes it hard. Also keep in mind that Malamar and Clodsire actually pair well together, so it's a little bit of an iffy line by Nickname. Nickname doesn't protect the Quagsire from the Malamar, and that means that Zweilous is able to switch out, preserve that high health Malamar, which is going to be a threat for the late game. Malamar gets a farm down, and the energy from Malamar is always so deceptive because foul play hits harder than you might think. Nickname is forced to bring the Toxapex, which does not have a great matchup into Malamar when shields are up. If you have around 122, 123 attack on your Malamar, you usually get a breakpoint into opposing Toxapex, and then the HP is absolutely being shredded by those sideways because Toxapex relies on defense mostly and has a pretty low HP stat. This is just an example of if you play an ABB line, you've got to protect your bodyguard against that specific Pokemon there. Because what looked like an impossible game for Zweilous to win with that Azumarill on the Toxapex, Malamar just put in so much work. Zweilous would win this set 2-0, but these players would face each other again on day 2. Next up, we have Lurgan Rocket versus Maximilian. The Pokemon I want to highlight here are both Goodra and Malamar. Let's get straight into it. Lurgan Rocket leads Goodra. Goodra is one of, if not the safest Pokemon to use in the current meta, really only hard-walled by that Power Snow alone and Sand Slash. But his charge attacks are extremely mediocre when they are neutral. As you can see here into the Malamar, Maxi actually outpaces to the second superpower, and it allows Malamar to win the 0-1 shield. Goodra can hit a bulk point into Malamar, but this is generally something you should not aim for specifically because you need an extremely high defense, and most Malamar have a little bit of attack. Goodra can hit a lot for super effective in this meta with its coverage attacks in Aqua Tail and Thunder Punch, but in this battle it's not going to matter because Maximilian is going to use a notorious strategy of 2 shields on Feraligatr, and that's going to sweep this game for him. Maxi wins game number 2 as well, and he proceeds to day 2. After a long day of battling and commentating, we're gonna get dinner and get ready for Championship Sunday. Zoom in on Felix one more time.
I see what you did there.
Maxi, how are you feeling for day 2?
I got here, which is more than I thought I'd get, and matchup doesn't feel that good, but I feel like I do have a little bit of play. We'll see how it goes. If I get through one, I can probably get through all of them, right?
EJB, how are you feeling for day 2?
Feeling good. Haven't slept a lot. Drank 12 beers yesterday. Now I'm trying to destroy some Polish guys. Practiced a bit with James. It didn't go that well, but I'll just wing it.
Is that how you won Bochum last time as well?
Oh, hell yeah. I drank more than 12 beers there, but yeah, that's exactly how I did it there.
Amanda, who do you think is going to take it all today?
Oh boy, that's a really good question. I'm kind of hoping for Zweilous because he was the first last season. Wadaj was the first last season as well, and he won the first, so I'm going with ZZ.
Farid, any predictions on who's going to win this weekend?
It's really difficult to look past anyone other than Zweilous. I'd love for Kazim to do well. I really would, but Zweilous called Malamar so early, and he's actually nailing the whole of the competition with it so far. We'll see how it goes.
It's just like Amanda. We have Zweilous and Jonkus here. Jonkus, do you think your brother can do it today?
Of course, I was always rooting for him. His team is a very neutral against a lot of the teams that are currently still available. So also we did some practice battles and he always wrecked me, so I definitely think he can do it today.
Zweilous, the fans want to see you succeed today. Do you think you can do it again just like last season?
I definitely think I have it in me. I brought a little bit more of a hard meta team, which is less fun but more reliable, and scrims went well. Team comp still looks a little bit dire, but I'm confident.
For the remainder of the video, I'm going to use segments from the stream mostly. I'll put the link in the description if you want to take a look at that. And before going into these battles, I want to highlight one more person who is heavily involved with a lot of the production of these gorgeous streams.
Very good, no worries. Hi, I'm Dirk. I'm doing live stream and video productions with my company Nerdstar, and also I'm here for Pokemon Go as a producer, and we're doing a lot of great shows here at the Pokemon Regionals.
We've been working together a lot, and you may often see him pop up at those European Championships. Day 2 started with the loser finals of the groups. Unfortunately, Maxi got knocked out early on. EJB managed to win his round, but got knocked out in the next round by the Peruvian competitor Javier B20. On the winner's side of the bracket, Z's Wireless lost to Tonte Bateus. The Frenchman and the Galarian Moltres were too difficult to overcome for the German. After that, he did manage to defeat Javier, and he guaranteed his 3rd medal to his name. Little did everyone know what was coming. Kazim, the other player with the Galarian Moltres, barely defeated a Mind Joke on the winner's side of the bracket and faced off against Tonte Bateus. Kazim had never top cut before, and I think the Whimsicott was to blame, even though he doesn't want to admit it. He dropped the Whimsicott chains and went on a tear in the winners finals, defeating Tonte Bateus by 3-0. Watching Kazim play was astonishing. How did he never top cut before? His counting was flawless, the bait and new calls were perfect, and all his opponents failed catching his attacks. Meanwhile, in the loser semis, Nickname is up against these Wireless again, and boy do I love a good grudge match story. This battle is a display of someone who is locked in. In the mirror, the Psywave do absolutely nothing on Malamar. They're triple resisted, double resisted by Dark, single resisted by Psychic. You'll see that after the second charge stack from Z's Wireless, Nickname is not even flinching, still staying in, knowing he can take a few more Psywave. He sees the Talonflame from Z's Wireless coming in, knows immediately to swap in the Clodsire, which doesn't even win against the Talonflame per se without Stone Edge, but it makes sure that it avoids the Malamar. And now Nickname only has that Quagsire left, which would only be bad into the Superior. But Superior from Z's Wireless is so difficult to play into a team with Clodsire, Toxapex and Mandibuzz that Nickname has been relying on this a lot this tournament, knowing that people don't bring it against him. Z's Wireless tries to dance around and preserve Pokemon and energy all over the place, but it's not going to be enough because the Quagsire from Nickname is going on a tear with how fast it generates those Aqua Tail. He still had a charge attack stored on the Malamar, which is going to help later on, and then Quagsire has a decent matchup into the Dunsparce as well. This is all a result of the quick reflexes of Nickname. He made a mistake in their previous matchup when he forgot to swap in the Mandibuzz into the Malamar safe switch, and this time he came back strong. After defeating Z's Wireless, he is moving on to the losers finals and secured at least a top 3 finish. Unfortunately for the 2022 Bremen champion, this is where his insane losers run ends. Tonte Bateus sweeps him by 3-0 and the Frenchman is in for a grudge match in the grand finals against Kazim. Kazim played so well all over the weekend, but the battle I'm actually going to showcase is the one he lost because Tonte Bateus played out of his mind. A matchup that basically seemed to be impossible to come back from, and Tonte Bateus just looked to be swept again by Kazim. But he managed to take a game yet, and look at how he does it. Tonte Bateus is 0-2 behind in this matchup, and he loses the lead yet again. Galarian Moltres doesn't do super well into Dunsparce, and Kazim is playing ABB against his Galarian Moltres, so this is exactly where it is, where he needs it. Tonte Bateus tries to catch an attack again into Kazim, but it's just impossible to catch into Kazim. And then swapping in the Superior, which has a really good matchup here because of strong Frenzy Plant damage and the non-same type attack bonus from attacks from Dunsparce. They just don't do that much, especially with nerfed Rock Slide. They don't deal that much damage to Superior. But it does give Tonte Bateus the opportunity to farm more energy. Galarian Moltres is not as fragile as you think it would be, so it can take this resisted Frenzy Plant still pretty well and have some more energy for that Dunsparce, because you can land a Brave Bird that will do a lot of damage. Kazim makes yet again the correct shield call, and then Tonte Bateus goes into the Cresselia. This is, I believe, the first time he brought the Cresselia just to try and change things up. He hasn't brought it before because I don't think it would do very well into like Galarian Moltres, but Kazim kept bringing the Dunsparce and the Dugong. and the Clodsire, which all were Pokemon that Cresselia do very well in. But it's into Feraligatr now. If you can land one Grass Knot here, and Tontopateus will actually barely hang on by a few HP to get the Grass Knot off. This allows the Galarian Moltres to farm down to Feraligatr again and come out with a Brave Bird. This Brave Bird is actually going to knock out that Dunsparce, and it's a perfect showcase of why you need Galarian Moltres for your roster. It wasn't enough for Tontopateus, however, because Kazim takes the next game and he wins the Dortmund Regional Championship. And then the player who has taken it all, our grand champion, has never made it to a top 8 before, never made it to day 2, never made it to a top cut. And then the Whimsicott warrior, he dropped the Whimsicott. It was not the meta for it, he said. And as soon as he dropped the Whimsicott, he dropped his chains and he unleashed his full power. Give a big round of applause for your grand champion. It is Kazim! I didn't include a lot of gameplay from Kazim in this video because it's more of a vlog style video, but I'll be having him over on the podcast later on, and we'll talk with him there. Maybe zoom in more on his plays in a different video, because I do think his flawless play is something cool to take a look at. That was it for this time. I'll be back in Lille. Hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Bye. The Brave Bird, look at this Brave Bird taking on the big water-type Pokemon. Here it comes. Zoom! It does a lot of damage to that Toxapex, and it kind of like neutralizes the threat that it is to the Superior.
That's the thing, it makes it easier for the partner Pokemon in the back to be able to shine through this match. First of all, Dunsparce is going to have a crack at it, going for these rollouts, but now once again, it's going to be Toxapex's moments to try and get some damage back with a charge attack. Zzwilus not shielding though.
Sludge Wave hits, the Dunsparce does a lot of... Stop laughing, I'm also laughing. The Drill comes through.